Hi folks, so I suppose I was inspired also by this talk by just seeing how many people on YouTube often are coming across in such high spirits and with such happiness and well-being, okay, in a way. So many YouTubers, I just find that there's a lot of people out there that aren't necessarily comfortable with showing the parts of themselves which, when they are sad or sullen or feeling despaired or something like that, especially like in these major podcast people, and I'm talking about more in the conscious community, such a thing exists. I can see the reluctancy of people to, like, even when people have got a cold and they're feeling under the weather, how they're like, oh, I'm sorry that you have to bear with me, I'm sorry with my cold and I'm not, a bit nasally or something like that, but I'm sorry, but, people apologize for not being well. It's like, okay, we live in this culture and society, which I'll get more into, where we got to be happy a lot of the times, and coming from the highest of spirits and the highest of energies, and that's the face that we want to put forward, especially when we're online onto a public forum. And it's simply not the case, and it's not the case especially with my videos. I find that I'm really willing to show when I'm feeling down in the dumps, to express that, and when I'm feeling high in the clouds, in a sense, I don't know, for lack of better words. And what I'm saying is that true friends, true fellowship, true kindred spirits and community of conscious individuals give each other the space for when we are having fluctuations of highs and lows. Okay, we give each other the space. We unconditionally, we support the person unconditionally, even in their states of anger, even in their states of joy, even in their states of aggression or whatever it is, and in their states of acceptance. It's like, who the true being is that lies beneath it all, between all the fluctuations of emotions and moods and dark nights of the souls and whatever it is. Who the person is in their being, in their spirit, and you are there for them through the thick and the thin. And this is what I kind of get into in this talk. I don't do such a good job of it, but I think it makes a bit of sense and whatnot. So let's carry on with this talk. Thanks. I was thinking about this in regards to moments of really feeling high and optimistic and peaceful, or days of feeling like that, and then to the next day feeling down and out and hopeless and pessimistic and bittered and pathetic and desperate and despaired and whatever it is, and so on, and then the next day to be of high pure being, in connection, in allowance, in surrendering, in going with the flow, in appreciation and all that sorts. And it's this fluctuation between the two states, in a sense. Okay, and they're vastly different. In fact, they're worlds apart, they're dimensions apart. I've realized that in some of my talks that I'll do, let's say I did a talk about, let's say, last week Wednesday, and today is Wednesday, and I'm listening to the talk again, and I'm thinking, wow, I was really in a very despaired state of mind. I was very much caught up in the drama of things and my life story and the feelings of being so limited and feeling frustrated with people, feeling annoyed, feeling desperate about things in my life, people in my life, the world that I live in, etc. And I'll be listening to it, but now I might be in a higher moment and of feeling more positive, feeling more purposeful, feeling more meaningful, feeling more opportunity of life, and then I'll have a reluctancy to upload that talk because it's just doesn't even seem necessary, doesn't even seem warranted. It's like, for one, you try and be more upbeat in life, and that's the energy that you want to share with people. You want to come from more of a true being or pure being state than you do from sort of down and out, heavily involved in the drama and personality type and of low frequency, let's say, vibe. And so because you don't want to bring other people down, in a sense. There's an insecurity for myself, to a certain degree, and I think we all have this. I think we're all worried about, to a certain degree, of speaking about feeling desperate at times, or feeling very low and hopeless at times, feeling very broken at times. We know that and we've been conditioned by our culture and society to do so. We live in a world of happy endings. Okay, I'm talking about with movies and whatever it is. It's always kind of be a happy ending. Very few movies, I'm saying, cinematic movies or whatever, end off in more of a tragedy. Okay, there are tragedies within themselves, but the ending is generally more upbeat and hopeful, and the boy and girl walk off holding, into the sunset holding hands type of thing. I mean, we know that it's more correct, in a way, or more approved of when we're sharing our high moments and our positivity with one another. It gets better received, and it makes us more liked and more popular. Okay, it makes you less popular when you speak about your lowness and your desperations and your loneliness and things like that. That's like too real for people a lot of the time. That's like really too close to the heart, and so a lot of people are not very comfortable with hearing that. And also, we've been conditioned again from upbringing and childhood that you just want to be seen as a happy child. There's a lot of pressure to be seen as a happy-go-lucky kind of child. It's the child is, especially in today's time, can easily be diagnosed with some kind of mental illness to some degree. If it's too sullen, if the child's too sullen, too often sullen or melancholy or something like that. So nonetheless, we know that we live in a world of fake smiles, and everybody's like, how are you, good and you type of thing. No one says, how are you doing? And people say, I'm having a terrible day, I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling under the weather. It's not, that's not the common reply. And so we're really conditioned so much so that again, also sharing like on social medias, it's really only sharing your highs, never your lows. Okay, so again, sharing lows and sharing heart in the broken heart sense in the world today, and probably for some time, has not been really appropriate, and therefore one needs to hide that and suppress that emotion a lot of the time. So put on a happy smile, and that's the world we're conditioned to. So it's like we are very much insecure about sharing our broken hearts and our desperate moments and our sort of feelings of despair and hopelessness, feeling sorry for ourselves, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of confusion, etc. Right? And so we don't share those part of ourselves, and it really takes courage to do that, And sometimes in my talks, I have to honor that in myself as well, what I'm saying. Like, let's say I'm listening to a talk that I did a week ago, where I was feeling down in the dumps, I was feeling helpless, hopeless, despaired, anguished, anxious, depressed, frustrated, alone, etc. And talking about that experience, and now listening to that video today, that talk of mine today, where I feel not pretty much like that, and then I feel to myself, well, I'm not going to upload this video. Firstly, because it's not warranted. I don't feel that way anymore. I feel more upbeat today. I feel more optimistic. In fact, in a few days' time, I'm going on a bit of a vacation, which I'm looking forward to, and I can feel that that's sort of uplifting my spirits. It's a breakaway, it's a different scenery, whatever. It's something to look forward to, so I feel more upbeat. And so for myself, it's like I reject those parts of myself of where I'm feeling down and out and feeling low. Okay, And so I got to honor that by uploading that video to YouTube, okay, because that's also a part of who I am. And not only that, but that's a place where I will return to in a very short time. I could return to it by this afternoon. Now I'm recording this in the morning. I could return to that space of despair and brokenheartedness and deep frustration with the world and reality, and feeling it very meaningless, and purposeless, and it's a lot of suffering for nothing, and I feel whatever it is, desperate, and I'll return to that, and that's the drama of life. I mean, that's how it goes. And so we need to honor that. And so for myself, sometimes I think like, maybe I'll be uploading a video and people will be listening to it, my dear listeners, that they'll be listening to it and they'll be in an upbeat mood, and I'll be just bringing them down, right? They'll be maybe feeling hopeful that day, or in that moment they might be feeling optimistic. They might feeling that they're in a state of pure being and peace and harmony and alignment and things like that. And here's somber Aaron coming along and sort of raining on your parade type of thing. And so I think that, and then I think to myself, well, if somebody's really with me through the thick and the thin, through it all, that even when they're in that space of highness, okay, and pure being, that they're able to give me a space and of deep appreciation, of unconditional understanding and space and love, that you provide and whatnot. And that's what I would expect of some of my listeners, and that's what you can expect of me, okay? I mean, I'll give you that space as well, even if I am feeling in high spirits, okay? I'll still give you that space and honor what you are going through. Maybe a tragedy has just taken place in your life. Maybe you've just gone through a massive transformation or something very, very unsettling. Maybe you're having dealing with the last sort of punches of a unhealthy relationship, it's like, or messy divorce or something like that, and whatever it is. And and for myself in the past, I couldn't appreciate that when other people were going through it, and I was feeling kind of high, right? And I didn't want to be bothered by their sort of melancholy states, right? Or whatever what they were going through. It's like, I just, don't bring me down here, don't kill my buzz, man, or something or other. And I realized that was abandoning people and rejecting them and neglecting them and actually hurting them as well. So I realized that you got to, for myself, it's like, if we're going to be unconditional to one another, unconditionally present with one another, then that's what's required. Even for myself, like, let's say with my mother, bless her heart, she will often go on about a certain situation in her life, and she's been going on for a long time, for many years, and she hasn't really been able to solve it, and she will repeat herself and repeat the experiences time and time again. And for myself, I've learned to be patient. I've learned to say, well, I can't say enough's enough now. I don't want to listen to you anymore. You need to do X, Y, and Z in order to solve this problem. And if you're not doing it, then I want nothing to do with you, right? Because the truth is that her situation, her pattern, her habit that she's repeating doesn't really dramatically affect me, okay? I mean, it does in a way, because I see that she's maybe not happy, or maybe that this thing is causing her pain and suffering, the situation. But it's not like she's an alcoholic and she's borrowing money from me, and that we're sharing a house together and she's not paying the rent, and she's leaving her, sort of beer bottles lying everywhere, and the whole house is a mess. I mean, so it's not to that degree. So I can be there for her in this, because it's not completely compromising and taxing to me. But it can be sometimes because of the heaviness of what her situation is. But again, I can bear that. And I'm responsible to bear that, because in situations where I need to talk and about, maybe I'm going through similar situations or similar troubles that I can't seem to solve, and I just need her to hear me out, that she needs to hear me out, and she has to not kind of try and sprinkle fairy dust on it and be like, well, you're making a big deal of it, or to maybe not want to wish to be present with me. She can try and gaslight me, in other words. Okay, maybe she's tired of hearing me whine about my addiction to, let's say, pornography, which I don't have, and that she just says, get on with it, sort yourself out. I don't want to hear about how you feel so out of control and how desperate you are. You've been going on about this for 6 months now, like enough's enough, go to rehab or do something or other. Or maybe she patronizes me or undermines me, or she just says that I'm making a big deal of it. You know what I mean? So we have to respect each other's states of being, okay, states of mind and moods as well. Very, very important, okay, to do. So I expect that of my listeners, of where if I'm talking from a more of a sudden space, that you can still appreciate where I'm coming from and not feeling like I am just whining and pissing and moaning, okay, if you will. If you feel that I am being too self-indulgent and I'm really going on unnecessarily and really feeling victimized and really playing sort of the helpless card, then you can bring it out to me, okay, and I would appreciate that. But you got to make the right call, okay, and that's our responsibility to one another. So if really I feel that somebody's going on about something that they don't need to be really pulling themselves over the coal for, maybe they did something or other and they have massive regret and they've been regretting it for months now, and I just see them as using this as an opportunity to bash themselves, to ridicule themselves, to abuse themselves, then I'm going to point it out to them, and so that's something different, obviously, but that's a high level of relationship, of a healthy functioning relationship, where we know that when somebody's pointing something out to us, that we need to think about what they're saying, because they're really saying with true heart. Like with my brother, I've spoken about my brother before, maybe that's more of a relevant story, but I've spoken, he said, listen, I know that I've done something wrong, I don't know what it is, I've done something wrong, I don't know what it is, please explain it to me. And then when I explain it to him, he says that I'm being too sensitive, let's say, or something or other. So he's defending himself against, he's not being open and whatever it is. And so that's dysfunctional relationships, friendships, connections. So I'm not obviously talking about that, but really this, and we all take our time to heal. That's the thing, is that you can take certain amounts to heal on certain things, and can take some time, and I need to be patient with that, and I might take a while to heal on certain matters as well, and you need to be patient with that as well, right? You can't just say, okay, enough's enough now. You don't know when enough is enough for me, to a certain degree. It's very tricky to know. It's really tricky to know. But if I keep on, if you feel that I'm going on about certain things too much so, and I'm becoming dysfunctional over them, and it's hurting the relationship, and you're feeling that it's holding the relationship back, and you're feeling like, as well, this is just too taxing for you, then you have the right to walk away. Because you can, if I feel that by you, like if I know how you're feeling and you're saying to me, look, I need to walk away from you because you're just not getting healthy here, and you're just becoming more and more sick, then for my own well-being, and if walking away, that might say to me, well, I don't want to lose you, so let me try a bit harder in my life, let me put in a little bit more effort in a way, so I don't lose you. And because this is all tricky, there's no hard written rule here. Relationships are very, very complicated, but it's okay to bring each other down from time to time, but also at the same time, if we're bringing each other up, that's also very important. And in fact, this is not something that I really wanted to talk about. I mean, I got into this thing about true being, and then the drama of life, and really what I wanted to sort of address was just that that we have our high moods and we have our low moods. We have our true being, and then we have our pure being, then we have our mind and personality that we fluctuate between, and how emotions play a role and moods play a role as well. Like sometimes when your mood is high, that life is beautiful, and it is, but you're not sometimes being realistic. That's kind of what I wanted to speak about, but perhaps I'll do that for another talk. Yeah, folks, a lot to be said in all of this, and really, even for myself now, thinking, well, has this been a reasonably enough upload? Is this something that's worth uploading for people to hear, or should I just can it? And I have to be careful with myself for that, because then I'm not honoring myself, and maybe I'm choosing other people's, like I'm banking on other people's reception of this or approval of this, and then on my own, you see. And so what I can be doing is filtering myself and be like, no, people don't want to hear this, it's not warranted, it's not valuable, it's not insightful, so can it? And maybe that is the case, but if I really, I've got to be honest with myself and feel, no, this is something genuine that I'm saying here, right? And it doesn't have to get over 100 views or something like that. It's that I'm honoring myself in this, and that's the most important motivation that somebody can have and work with, that you're doing it in honor of yourself and love for yourself. Alright, folks, yes, I think this one is a worthwhile upload, I think it is. Alright, well, I hope it was insightful for you to some degree. We'll chat soon. Take care.